I started that horrible task of cleaning up my bench area, and I started finding parts all over it. For this, it looks like the bag got open and got scattered. I found all the components except for the 9014, but luckily these little transistor kits come in handy, and it had it. So, what I'm going to do is start assembling this. I'm probably going to have to voice over it um, because there's construction going on outside. So, oh, and this is a frequency counter crystal tester. So, onward we go. So, I'm running this at times 4 speed. So obviously, the first thing you put in is the stuff that sits flush to the board the best, like the little things like resistors. It's just a matter of trying to get them in those little holes. And then once I get these are the 1Ks going in. That part actually worked quite nicely. There's another 1K. Uh, I really should have looked at that one. You'll understand in a bit. There's the 10K and the other 10K. Spread the pins a bit. That way we can flip it over and start soldering them up. And I'm using good lead solder. So I'm not compliant with California. Just go along, touching them up. Do one side first, then go do the other side. Sometimes I'll reach around behind it and just make sure they're pushed flush. Since I'm probably never going to use this for much of anything, other than maybe testing some crystals. I don't care. And now the diodes are going in. They're nicely marked on the board which way they should go. I do like this holder because then you can rotate it around like that and just hold it away from the stuff that you're doing. So there's where the other diode went. Get them spread and solder them up. Now it's time to put on my glasses and start snipping. Always making sure that you got a firm grip on those little leads because otherwise they can go shooting across the room. And after snipping all these off, need to take a close look at if there's any poor solder joints in there. And there was one there. Taking a look at it. Let's drop the crystal in. And with crystals, you do need to keep the temperature down. So quick solder, and there you go. Don't waste a lot of time on it. Now we'll put in the dip socket. It was heavily bent up. You need to tack on 1 or 2 spots and check to make sure that it is flush. Then just head along and do the rest of the pins. Yep, that looks good. We'll put in that little one there. Probably should have done the capacitors first, but oh well. So that was actually a variable capacitor. And then we put in the button. There we go. Might as well put in the displays. And turn it around. Decimal at the bottom. And a few of them had bent pins, but nothing too bad. What I try to do on these is just put in one solder spot on each of them and then just go through it methodically, check, make sure they're flat. The one wanted to bend itself up a tiny bit. Then when I'm soldering on these, I pick every other pin just so that I don't put a lot of heat in one area. I'm not sure if it's that important on this one, but if you're doing an IC, you probably want to do every other pin, spread it out, let it cool back down as you're going to the next one, instead of just doing each of them in sequence. So far, there's only been one mistake. You won't be able to see it since it's a bit hard to get the color codes on the resistors. So now I'm about to stick the transistors on. Hey, they even put the diagram of where the half moon goes. Now, let's just wait. If you look hard, you can see my second mistake. I put the transistor in backwards. Oh well. And you know what? It doesn't work that well when you do stuff like that. Oh, snip off a few more. Capacitor. Let's see. Ooh, there's another capacitor. And if you've noticed there, I actually stuck one of the capacitors on the wrong, or not the wrong way, the wrong value. So let's see, now we're up to 3 mistakes. Yeah, it doesn't improve. I'm going, hey, where's that capacitor? There it is. It's mounted on the board already, in the wrong spot. So I put the 22 picofarad capacitor in the 1000 picofarad spot. And then I'm like, oh. So I had to pull it out and switch the parts around. I'm just like, hey, where's all the parts that I need? Hmm. Wasn't worth reaching over the desoldering station. I just grabbed some solder wick and cleaned it up. And now it's a matter of putting the right one in the right spot. Tut tut. But don't worry, it's probably gonna get worse. Hey, that one actually goes there. Good. Solder, solder, snip, snip. And the last transistor goes in. Noticing that it's put in the right way, which is a good thing since I didn't have any spares of that one. And some nice machined socket headers. Oh, that, well, it works. Let me count the number of mistakes I made. You probably yelled at the screen too. Okay, first off, I put in this transistor backwards. Oh well. This resistor, well, the one I pulled out of there. this one. That's the wrong value. I just thought it went with the kit and I didn't actually double check. Oh well. It's now 100K. Then also, you do not connect up the ground and the negative, or the ground and the negative. That was another mistake. So 3 mistakes and this thing is running. So I'm going to try a few crystals. This is 8 meg. 5.07, and I've got a 16. Let's start with a 16. And it's reading. Now I'm just going to darken this up a bit. Okay, I'm going to darken it up a lot. Okay, so the 16 is reading 16.062. The fact this thing's actually working after all the things I did wrong to it. Oh, that transistor, I had to replace it, obviously. Okay, here's the 5. There we go. 5.137. And then here's the 8. Uh, 8.079. The fact that this is working after all that abuse, I'm amazed actually. So that's not how to put this kit together. Put everything in the proper position and with the proper values. Oh well, I should have stayed at the beach and fed the crows.